Okay, so I'm going to start with XRP. I'm going to start here with XRP and let's have a look. This head and shoulders here, we're looking at the target at 32.66 and price action's come down to 32.75 so far. So you can see this is going to be broken sometime today. But let's look at what else is going to happen today. Yeah, I am looking at this structure playing out where you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels up, and then there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels down, potentially with a final drop coming back down to the bottom here, or close to it. Yeah, so that's that seems to be playing out as we look at it here. So I have my target on my short. I'm just going to move this out of the way now, just to tidy it up here. So I'm going to put in some other things. Looking at maybe a little bit of sideways here on the 1 hour, and then a final drop down for the level 4, hitting this target here. Yeah. Now what is that target? So I'm looking at the target of the 786, okay, and I reckon what we're going to get is when we hit the 786 we get a rebound back up to the 05 and then potentially another drop down to 30.59 or so. Yeah. Now I did this earlier on, a bit like the cooking shows. Here's one I made earlier. So potentially something like this is we get the drop to the 786, probably a bounce back up to the 05, and then a further drop down, and here's the bottom here, and potentially we're looking at a 30.50 target. To be honest, it could go even further and come down and do a much bigger spill, and create a double bottom somewhere around, possibly somewhere around 29.30 range. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at. So in my short, I'm going to take profit here. Is when I start to see that the turn, wherever happens, as I watch it, is I will look to catch this long, and again I'll look to take a short and catch that short down here. Yeah. Now when I show you why I'm thinking this, is I'm going to show you on the 4 hour on the MAs here. Yeah. So on the 4 hour here, you'll see that, let me just copy this here. You'll see on the previous, we'll do this one. Yeah. That's when the 20 crossed to 55 and the drop here. Now this is a much bigger drop. Yeah. But let me just pop these in and you'll see what I'm doing. There is where the 20 crosses to 55, and here is where 20 crosses to 50 to 55 is there. Okay, now the next line I'm going to put in is this line here. This is the drop down, and this is where, for this one, this is where it bottoms out here before it bounces back up, and then comes back down for a deeper touch. So I'm going to make this line yellow for now. Yeah, and then I'm going to copy this, bring this here, and I'm going to put this one here. Okay, and then I'll copy this, put it there, and I'm going to put this one here. Now this line actually should be yellow. Now you might be working out what I'm already doing. So what I'm doing here is, and this is where the 20 crosses the 55. Okay, so look, you can see this space here. Look, once the 20 crosses the 55, the bottom here is, there's only so many candles that play out here before it touches the bottom, heads back up and tests the 20 the 20 MA and the 20 EMA. And this is a bigger drop, so you can see that it tested it twice, came back down for another touch, and then broke up. On this one, again, this is where the 20 crosses to 55. You get the drop down, and then you get the back test up to the 20, you get a rejection, and then you get the lift up. Equally here is the 20 crosses the 55, you get the drop. This is where it bottoms here, a push back up to the 20, get a rejection, a push back down, and then up you come again. So this one here is an impulse, 3, 4, 5. The 3, 4, 5 was here, so this played out as a double bottom here, a 1, 2 for the lift up, and again this one was a 3, 4, 5, and then the lift up here. Yeah. So we got to see what this one is going to do. I think it's going to be a 3, 4, 5. Going back to this is 3, 4, 5. I think it's playing out like that. Yeah. So when this crosses, the 20 crosses the 55 here, there are only so many 4-hour candles before it bottoms out, and then it goes back up and tests the 20. Yeah. So on this one there was, I think it was 11. This one there was 7. This is 7. That actually looks longer. So I'll put it out here. There's going to be now I know that the drop here was bigger. This one's a smaller one. So I reckon between from when the crossing happens, there's going to be between 7 and 11 4-hour candles where it hits a bottom, and then we get the push back up for the 20, and then we get the drop down. So that's why I reckon that the candles here are going to hit the 786, and then we're going to get the bounce back up to the 05. Yeah, and equally you can see that when the crossing happens, is the 20s need time to move away, so you get that last fall, you get that last spill before you get the rebound. Is you can see the 20s are moving away, you get that last spill before the lift back up. Yeah, same here again, that last spill before the lift. And look at this here, this is only beginning. You can see this separation of the 20s here is only really beginning. So you can see that you get a few 4-hour sideways candles here. Is it allows the 20s to move away a little bit more. You get that last spill. To be honest, it looks like it's going to break the 786 a little bit, but 786 is a good profit point. Take profit point is you get that last spill. The 20s are moving away here, and then you get the bounce back up. Yeah. Now when I look at the fibs on this one, I put the fibs on this here like this. Yeah. There we go. Let me zoom it in a little bit. Is now we get the drop down to the 786 or so, find a reversal along the way, and then the bounce back up to the 05. Give it 3 or 4 more 4-hour candles, and you're going to have the 20s down around the 05 mark. So you get the drop, you get the push back up to the 05 or so, maybe even a wick through, and then you get the drop down. And again, a good target is, you can see just with the channel lines here, is you can see the take profit here, look to catch a short or a long here, look to catch the short here, and again possibly a drop back down onto this yellow support line here, which has a couple of touch points along the way. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at. Yeah. And I could show you. Yeah, I could show you on this as well. Yeah. So you can see the expanding the blue lines, the expanding channel here. Yeah. Well, you can see it touch, coming down for another little bit of sideways, come down for another touch here, and then again a bounce up and a touch all the way here. So now, depending how long it takes, it could be a shorter time here, or it could be a longer time if it wants to travel all the way over to here. Yeah, there's a tendency for it to not take that long. So when I put this on the 4-hour, you can see the rebound here. When you get the this is the one that went up and tested the 21st. You can see once it started to head up, 1, 2, it was three 4-hour candles, yeah. On this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 4-hour candles. And then on this one here, there was 1, 2, 3, and again, look at that, 4, all in the 4-hour, touched, bounced, came back up, yeah. So you can see that once this bottoms out, it's probably going to take 3, 4, max 4-hour candles for it to get back up to the 05, and again head back down. So yeah, so a couple of sideways, drop, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, up to here or so. Yeah, it may even wick up a little higher, but I'm looking at a target 33.91, and then wave 4 and wave 5 all the way down to around the 30.50. But again, I'm looking at a nice support line here. That's why I'm putting it in. Yeah. Here's the 0 mark of this impulse. It could break it and come down a little further. Yeah. So somewhere around the 30.50, the 30 to 30 mark, possibly a little bit lower. And then after that, I think what we're going to have is a bounce back up to the top of this consolidation phase here. I think we'll have a bounce back up to the top somewhere around between 38.61 and 41.10, somewhere around there again before possibly a bigger spill down. Possibly. We'll see. But this is what we're looking at first, yeah. So that's me for now, and I'll hand you over to Mihaela.
Good morning, everyone. We have finally done a decent retracement and correction on the local swing. So this was the swing, and we've come down to meet the 0.618, which is a great level to correct at. Now I've looked at Bitcoin's patterns, and the 618, the golden pocket, the 618 and the 065 are generally breather levels. So what it normally does is it finds a little bit of support here, comes up either to test and backtest the 05 or even the 382, and come back down then at the 702, or even lower at the 786. So this would be what I believe will happen today. We're going to catch a breather. The 4-hour RSI needs to rehabilitate slightly. The 1-hour RSI needs to do that as well, and I think the 15-minute is okay, but the 1 hour definitely needs a breather, and the 1 hour looks like it's bottomed out here. So I would be looking for a retracement upwards and a rejection, and these levels would be in agreement with the MAs. I'll show you the MAs on the 4-hour so that you see what I mean. So on the 4-hour, this is where we are. Like it's textbook retest of the 10 or the 20. Now the 4-hour likes to retest the 20, as we see historically. So it retested the 20 for this double peak formation, retested the 20 for this first level formation, and then I believe it will retest the 20 and come down another leg. The 702 would be the more conservative target. The 786 would be the local support and resistance. Again, a very conservative target considering where we are. However, if we're looking at the wedge, the 786 would be in line with the bottom line of the wedge. So again, depending on where you go in, you might want to take 75% of the profits of the 702 and leave a little bit in for the 786. So that's the that's where Bitcoin is. I believe, just to sum it up, we're going to have a little bit of a breather today and then head down for a deeper correction. The midline is the midline. If the midline holds around the New York session and there's no break downwards, then we might see a retest of the upwards. Let's mention the upwards scenario as well. So this would be the downward scenario, retracement up, a rejection at the 20, and then heading back down. But there would also be the scenario where the midline holds and we see a retest of the 22.5 and then maybe breaking upwards towards the 25K. So that might also be, I'd say, the least likely scenario. But if we are at the midline and these are the two possibilities. For Ethereum, what we have is a more resilient and a slower descent. I'll change to the MAs now. There we go. So Ethereum at the moment hasn't come close to touching the 200 on the 4 hour. Ethereum has come close to the target that we set last night in the trade setups. So if you haven't taken your profits already from this short, I would be taking them quite soon, because to me this looks like a double bottom before the breather, and it might come up and test the breather at 1480, and again there might be some sideways drama typical of Ethereum before it comes down another level. So I wouldn't stay in through all this sideways drama. I take the profits here and then wait for the retest and come in with it for another leg down. Another leg down would be at first the completion of the target at 1370, and if it breaks that one, then 1250, 1270 would be the next level. Again, I think the 15 minutes is already reset to the top on the stochastic, but the regular RSI isn't yet at the top. So we might see a reset of the regular RSI before heading down for the next leg down. And that would give I think the 1 hour a decent breather as well. The 1 hour is already in the box looking for a lift up. So that's where Ethereum is at the moment. It's looking to break through this second level and maybe backtest the wedge. If it bounces off here, now we have the possibility of this coming back into the box here, into the sideways box. If it does do that, so if it comes back into this box, then we're looking at the top of the box as a possible resistance level, which would be the resistance level of these 3 peaks here. I'll put the path on this. So if from here it goes back in here, a retest goes back in here, and then heads up. So that might be our this might be our second scenario. Again, the least likely alternative, if the box holds as support. So if it breaks back into the box and it uses it as support, we might be heading up for another leg up. So that's the that's where Bitcoin and Ethereum are. If you have any questions, let me know in the chats. I will see you tomorrow for the London session.